An above-inflation rise in the minimum wage could be on the cards tonight, as the Chancellor said that the country could afford it. George Osborne said he was ready to consider putting up the hourly rate to £7, saying he wanted to restore its real value for people. The Low Pay Commission is about to publish its recommendations on the minimum wage level. Our economics editor, Faisal Islam, is with me now. Is this an announcement?
Well, not quite. It's certainly a dramatic intervention from the Chancellor, not least because only last week he described this as possibly self-defeating. It's off his patch. It's strictly Vince Cable's announcement to make. But what he was saying in an interview this afternoon was that he was going to accept above inflation increases in the minimum wage, and that could stretch. He hinted that could stretch as far as a minimum wage of £7 an hour in a couple of years' time. It's £6.31 now, so that would be 11% increase. And this is what he told the BBC earlier today.
Well, just as we were all in this together in the crisis, I want to make sure we're all in this together in the recovery. And because we're fixing the economy, because we're working through our plan, I believe Britain can afford an above-inflation increase in the minimum wage, so we restore its real value for people, and we make sure we have a recovery for all, and that work always pays.
Now, it's not strictly his announcement to make. The Low Pay Commission, an independent series of experts, technical experts, will make a recommendation at the end of next month. But crucially, they are tasked with setting a minimum wage that doesn't increase unemployment. So they have to come up with the figures for that. We haven't had the full evidence from the government published today, and that will surely have to show that the minimum wage of £7, a giant increase, won't increase unemployment.
So, he can't actually make an announcement, and that might not be made for quite a bit, so one wonders whether the fact that Ed Miliband is making a major speech on the economy tomorrow might have something to do with it.
Who knows who sets the Chancellor's clock? What we do know is that obviously he's under a lot of pressure on living standards, not just from the opposition, but from his own backbenchers. We'll see the patterns in the minimum wage. They've got a chart here showing what it was set in cash terms since 1999. It's been going a decade and a half. You can see it going from £3.60 up to £6.30 as it is now. And you see some big rises under Tony Blair at the beginning, coincidentally enough, ahead of an election. Let's look at that in terms of prices. When you account for prices, you see, yes, the minimum wage went up till about 2006, then it plateaued, and since the recession, it's come down in real terms. And so the hint here is that George Osborne wants it to catch back up. A cynic might argue, well, they've held it down, and now they're going to let it go back up again just ahead of an election and spread the feel-good factor in a well-timed manner.
And very briefly, is it anywhere near a living wage?
No, that's well over £8. So that could be an agenda for Labour to outdo the Chancellor's view that £7 might work.
Faisal Islam.